this is Karen, and welcome to another Flips and Folds on Sunday at dolallycrafts. Okay, I'm hopped up on coffee at the moment. It's a day here in Mornington, Victoria. The sun's trying to break through some clouds out there, so if I get some streaming in here, you'll understand why, because the window's just there and it's late afternoon. The sun's going to be coming straight through the window. This is the card we're making today, another fella card, and I'm using once again the Truly Tailored suite. And yes, this is the card. It's been a week and a half since I made any attempt at filming. This is the second attempt at making this card, and in the meantime, I don't know whether you saw my post on Facebook. I've made 67 wedding invitations, RSVP, detail and wishing well stationery pack for one couple, and then another 60 invitations, RSVPs and wishing wells for another couple, all in the space of 3 days, and my brain's scrambled. Okay, enough waffling. Let's get on with this card. As I said, it's another gentleman's card, and everybody has problems coming up with masculine cards, mainly because the guys just go, oh yeah, that's nice, and that's enough for next year. This one, as I said, it's a flips and folds one. Well, it doesn't really flip, but there's lots of folding in it, if that helps. So we've got the front of the card, which is using the True Gentleman papers, which I love. I think they're great. And when we open it up, we've got our furry friends there, which are from the We Must Celebrate set. So we've got Bandicoot. I think that's what it is. It's not actually called a Bandicoot over in the States, though. And I can't remember what it's called. But we've got things like that over here in Australia that have got the masks over the eyes, and they're bandicoots. We've got the rabbit, and we've got a bear. We don't really have bears over here. For anybody in America, they're not called koala bears. They're not bears, they're marsupials. They're just known as koalas. And we've got squirrels, and we don't have squirrels over here. We have possums. We don't have squirrels. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Okay, so as you can see, there we go. We've got our fancy fold in the middle. Now, I got this off Pinterest. The girl that did it, that I saw, had 5 flags in the middle of her card, but I liked it with just these fellas. I thought it was nice, and I did what a lot of the demos have done. We did some stamp surgery and separated our little fellas there very carefully with a pair of scissors and a craft knife, and I separated them all. So we're going to stamp them on some very vanilla. So I'm going to do that first, get the stamping done. Now I've got to bring in my, I'm trying to remember, Tranquil Tide. I have stuff all over here because I was in the middle of filming last week. I'll keep talking while I'm inking these up. I was in the middle of filming these cards and a couple of others last week. Not last week, the week before, when Mother's Day hit. So I finished all of these. Well, I got halfway through this card and decided, and I've just stamped it in the wrong colour. Oh, that'll teach me for chatting away. They're supposed to be done in memento. Okay, I'm back again. This time I have the memento. And even though I'm going to colour this in, the memento is not going to make too much of a difference. But I do need to use the memento, not the Tranquil Tide. So I will just ink these up. I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, yes, I can. The reason my desk is such a mess at the moment, I was in the middle of filming some more of these videos before I started making the wedding invitations, so that I had plenty of time up my sleeve, and then realised that we had Mother's Day, and I hadn't done any cards for Mother's Day. Mother's Day morning, I got up and quickly put together 2 cards, one for my mum and one for my mother-in-law, and managed to get them all done to be delivered on Mother's Day. But this is the first time I've had a chance to get back into the room to start making videos since then, so I have stuff everywhere here. Okay, I've done it again. I don't know what the heck that is, but I've managed to get another mark there. But we've got our little critters have all been stamped, so I'm going to take my magnets off, and I've got to be careful because these really click together hard, and you could end up with a blood blister if you've got your finger caught in those. I'll clean that off later. Doesn't want to close on me. There we go. Okay, so we've got those done, and I'm going to flip this round, and I'm going to bring in my stamp from the Truly Tailored suite, and this time it does actually get stamped in Tranquil Tide. So we've got that stamped, and bring this in, and I have to stamp the happy birthday on the top of this. So let's get this fairly straight on there, and this once again gets stamped in the Tranquil Tide. So that's that done, and we've got one little bit more which says from all of us. So back in with the Tranquil Tide. May as well get all of this stamping done now. So that just goes under the bottom there, and that's plenty of room for everybody to sign, or for you to sign from the whole family. So I'll move all my stamps out of the way because they're all mucky now, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I still had my paper trimmer down in the lounge room from when I was making the invitations. So now what I have to do is trim around all of our little characters, and I'm just putting about 1/8 of an inch around the outside of each image as a small border. And I'm lucky with this trimmer, it's actually got a wire guide, so I can see how far away from the image I'm actually trimming. So even though I got that extra bit of ink on that image where the bear is, I was able to trim it away. Wasn't that handy? Okay, I'll just bring this back in again, and you can see how I'm doing it. Not that you can probably see the wire. Funny story, I just went down to the lounge room to grab this because I've got another table set up there so that I can keep hubby company while I'm making the invitations on the days that he's not at dialysis. So I went down to pick this up, and my daughter's home from school sick today, but she's down watching YouTube videos on her iPad, and she's laying down on the floor, and I walk in, and there she is on the floor, and there's Murphy, our 18-month-old cat, curled up quite happily on her back. Now, if Kaylee wasn't home, and if hubby was at dialysis, Murphy would be parked outside my craft room because he hates being on his own. Absolutely hates it. Usually, Murphy will be sat outside my craft room, or laying outside my craft room on the floor, and Latte, the other cat, will be sitting right next to the door and yowling his head off. Oh, it's nice to be loved. Okay, I'll leave the card there so that we can follow it just by looking. Now, all of the measurements can be found on my blog, as usual. This piece has been cut at 5 1/4 by 12 inches. You score it in the middle at 6 inches. Then you go to 1 inch either side of that first score line, and you score at 5 inches and at 7 inches. Then you score again another inch either side, and you score at 4 inches and at 8 inches. And then finally you do one last score at 3 inches and 9 inches. Now the reason this is already scored is because I got this far into making the card the first time on film and realised I'd made a big error. So we'll pop that to the side for a moment. As I said, all of the measurements and everything can be found on my blog. Now we've got all of our pieces stamped there. We have our card blank, which is a normal one, 5.5 by 8. I think this one is actually 8 1/4, which is the Aussie size, so it's 4 1/8 wide. And then we have our layering piece. As I said, measurements on my blog, but this one is 5 1/4 by 4. No, by 3 and not 7/8, 5/8. Oh well, as I said, measurements on my blog. I haven't got them in my head at the moment. Okay, now we also punched out, as you can see, that's 1, 2, 3, whoops, 4 of our banners. I can't remember what this one's called, but we've punched out 4 of those in 2 different lots of paper. As you can see, they've got different backing. Okay, so it's 2 different sheets of paper, and what I've done with that one, I've cut it horizontally, no, cut it vertically. That one has been left as it is for now. That one has been cut horizontally, and that one's been cut horizontally because we need those for there. So before we actually put that, this is where I stuffed up. I actually affixed that to the card front on the original card. So I want to do this right, and I will show you how to do it. So we get the first piece, which is our sentiment badge to go on the front, and we will put our dimensionals on the front and pop this onto the top third of our panel. I'm just having a hard time getting the backing off. Okay, so work out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the 5th one in is approximately our centre. So I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. So it's at the bottom of the top third and the top of the middle third. Okay, so that's about equal in the middle. And then for this, and I've left my snail down in the lounge room, so this will have to be popped on with my fast fuse, and I'm so sad to see the end of fast fuse. Really, really sad. I wish they'd kept it on. Okay, so we've got 2 pieces of our vertical sliced halves go on either side like that. Bring in the paper snips. I hate getting fast fuse on my snips, but it can't be helped. So we're going to trim these 2 off like that. There we go, and they can be discarded. So there's our first piece. Now we'll bring in this piece, and because we've already got navy blue there, we don't need the navy blue of that. So there's one, and we're going to pop that with just a bit of a gap between each piece, and do it again on the other blue, and have this on the opposite side. Once again, bit of a gap, like so. There we go. Trim those pieces off. And then the same with these last pieces. So, Oh, I've done the wrong side with that one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see if I can find another scrap of that paper. No, I can't. There we go. And one. And same again. Two. And just trim those off so that they are all nice and neat, because on the front one they're all quite rough. Okay, so we bring our front piece back in. We will put some fast fuse on the back. Oh, almost stuck it to the inside then. That would have been drastic. Okay, so that's the front of the card done. I'm going to come in with another piece of cardstock that I've got here, and I'm just going to mount my animals. Okay, now we just need to trim. I could have done this with my paper trimmer, but never mind. Okay, all of our pieces are now cut, and all I have to do is colour them in. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our piece. And what did I do with the piece that I stamped Happy Birthday on? It's around here somewhere, I think, I hope. Okay, back again. Couldn't find the other one, so I did it again, and now that I've done it again, the other one will show up. So first we'll pop this in just so that we know we've got it straight. And that just gives somewhere for everybody to leave a message. So that's that piece done. Move all of that out of the way. Now we're going to bring our card blank in. I was half expecting to open it and find the other piece there. Now we squeeze all of these up together. Once we've put all the scores in and creased and folded, you're going to end up with a piece that looks like that. So that centre score mark, instead of folding it away from you like we'd normally do, you fold it that way, and then just concertina the rest so that it sits like that. Now make sure you've got it up the right way, and we're going to pop some fuse or snail on either side. I have a feeling this is why Stampin' Up! Discontinued the fast fuse, because it has a habit of going off its track. Okay, so we bring it in and just give an 1/8 inch all the way around as a border on that side, and then while it's there, there we go, leave it closed, bring the front part over and just press it down. When you open it up, voila, really easy. Okay, now to pop these little fellas on. Now the little guy goes at the top on the back. So I put him up the top here, but I'm going to actually stick him I might actually just stick him straight above the top of the sentiment. Now, for the other guys, we start off with our bear, and make sure that you're going to put the glue on the right side. So we know this side of him has to be glued, so we'll just flip him upside down. And there, we know we've got that on the right side. So we bring this piece in, and there we go. He's in place. Bring the next piece in, and bring our bunny rabbit up. Do the same thing, flip him upside down, so that you know you're putting the glue on the right side. And just pop him there. And then for the last one, he's going to be a little bit awkward, but we just pop that down so it's flat. Once again, flip him upside down, just a bit of fuse or snail on that side, and there we go. So there's our card finished. We've got the front there. Open it up, and there's all our fellas come in to say happy birthday from all of us. Once again, bring in my, what did I do with it? There we go, my memento. If I don't do this now while I'm on camera, I will totally forget about it later. So I always like to do it on camera so that I know it's done. Now, what did I do with my pen? Here we go. Put my signature on the back. Okay, and that's our card for the day. There's the one we started out with, and the one we ended up with. I hope you liked today's card. You'll give it a go. As I said, all of the measurements can be found on my blog, so pop on over to dolallycrafts.com and have a look for this. All you need to do is pop in either We Must Celebrate or True Gentleman, Truly Tailored, any of those in the search bar. And because I use those tags on this post, it doesn't matter whether you're going there today or whether 3 years down the track you find my video and decide you want to go and make this card and find the dimensions. The link's directly below and it should take you to that page. If it doesn't, just put in those tags and you'll get there. Okay, that's it from me. I'll see you later. Bye bye.